Don't you hate when a video is doing really bad? Like, thought we had a good title for it, and then all of a sudden, no, it's not good at all. But whatever. We'll change the title, I guess, and we'll figure it out.
Steven, I got an announcement.
Yes?
I'm quitting YouTube.
Say it ain't so.
Man, fuck YouTube.
I'm
Not
with you
really.
on that.
I love YouTube. I love YouTube for what it is, but I fucking hate the slog that we have to go through when we have a video that we know is good and we want to get people to watch it.
It's a love-hate relationship for sure.
We're talking about the elephant video that the
elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room video that we put up. It's a very good video. It's how I got the photo of the elephants where I shot upside down to get the shot, hanging the camera gear outside of the vehicle. And Steven and I spent a couple of hours working on a cool thumbnail that was different than what we normally do, which maybe that's a problem because it's different than what we normally have.
Maybe.
And coming up with a title that is clicky but still valuable to show that it's like educational content.
It's been quite some time since we've went back and forth for that long over a title and thumbnail, and I'd say we spent 2 to 3 hours total trying to figure out what to name this video and how to title it properly.
It just shows you that you need to make videos based off of already having a title. Or if it's educational, it's got to be really, really clickbaity title to get people to watch. And in this case, we tried to do something that, like, not too clickbaity, but what it is, because it's an educational video. And people are like, that watch these videos like, this was really informative. This was awesome. You should make more content like this. Give us more critiques.
Which is why I always try and stay away from the educational content. I just feel like it just doesn't work well for us half the time.
Well, when we did the critiques, it's like they were very hard to get people to watch or to click on. The people that watched it loved it.
Sure.
Other than that, it was very difficult. The whole game is, how do you get people to watch it? We know that people will, once they start our content, they like to continue to watch it. And so this is this dilemma where you've got people that have straight up educational channels that have shot up that do well. I somehow fell into the gear thing because that's the stuff that got views. And I'm not complaining. We do well with the gear stuff, and it does lead to sales, and it's what I'm known for. But I also started off with YouTube back in the day making educational, informative content. And so it's a kick in the fucking balls. And if you don't have balls, unless you transition, do you think they have balls for people that transition, like nudicles that they have for dogs? Steven, see, that should be the test. If you want to transition from a woman to be a man, then you must get balls that are directly tied into your senses so that we can kick you there.
You need to know what it feels like.
What it's like to really be a man. I mean, I know you are a man once you transition because you are now identifying as a man and all, but are you really, if you don't have the real balls and you can't feel the pain? Steven's being silent here because he doesn't want to be drawn into this conversation.
Nope.
This was in our notes, Steven. Why didn't you veto it?
Ah, yes. The talk about transitioning to a man and needing balls for that. Ah, yes.
That's line 12.
Check that
Steven.
off. Okay, moving forward.
Line 12. Jesus. No, so the issue here is the video that we put up with the original title just fucking did horribly right off the bat.
The original title was The Secret Photography Trick I Used to Get This Killer Shot. So we were trying to talk about thinking outside the box, and the whole video is about basically you flipping the camera up, using a monopod, sticking outside of a Land Cruiser, and taking photos of elephants in Africa because you couldn't get out of the vehicle. You couldn't simply get on your knees and take a picture on the ground. It was all about, again, the general theme, thinking outside the box.
The other big question then becomes, and Stephen brought this up earlier before changing the title, is, well, maybe this would do fine long term because maybe people will find the secret, but this is the shit that
Hard to say.
This is the shit that YouTube drives you nuts with. is that they give you the analytics and they want you to do really well up front, but we also know that certain videos can do fine long term. So now I sit here questioning the new title.
And there's been videos that we have posted and they've done terrible the first, say, hour, and then all of a sudden they flip and they start doing well and trending upwards. It's hard to say if this will continue to fail moving forward the rest of the day or if it will uptick. That's why I'm always questioning, like, should we really change the title? Let's just wait a little bit. Maybe people aren't home from work yet or haven't checked YouTube or whatever it may be.
Yeah, but that's like saying when we post videos at the same exact time that do really well, it has nothing to do with whether they're at work or checking their videos.
I'm just saying, I've seen it in the past where we've let titles breathe and they've ended up winning in the long run. It's hard to say. And then sometimes we don't change it and it flops completely. It's like every time we think we got something right, YouTube's like, nope, you're wrong. You still don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's first world problems with YouTube.
That's why it's like, should we go back to the other one at this point? You know? And just say, fuck it, and just leave it.
Is this one still not doing well, I assume?
I mean, it's an 8 instead of a 9, so I don't know if it's adding more. I can't. Where's the analytics that show us how many views per hour?
The real-time analytics you have to look at.
I have to scroll down and look at those. So yeah, I don't want to look at 48 hours. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell because I can't see where I made the change because I made the change. No, it looks to be about the same either way you slice
it. Looks to be about the same.
Which makes me think, do I just
And
put
that's
it
the other
back?
thing. If you don't change it fast enough, then it's too late. You know, I feel like YouTube gives you the first minute or two, and if it doesn't fly out the window, then it's just like, nope, you're not going to get put into the recommended feed. You're going to go into the regular feed, and no one's ever going to find this video ever again.
And I know these are first world YouTuber problems,
For sure.
but I want you guys to understand it. And I know we talk about it quite often because this is the rub. I was talking to another YouTuber about titles, and they had some good suggestions and thumbnails. They had good suggestions, and they have stuff that works for them on their channel, which is primarily focused on education. And it's just we've gotten into this direction of gear, and that just seems to be what works when we put up those titles. But it doesn't mean that the educational videos, the videos themselves are all going to be, in our opinion, good. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of can you title it in such a way that it can get people's attention to watch it? Because no one's going to yell at us and say, you lied in this video and this video isn't good, because they're going to watch it and be like, oh, that was informative. I learned something.
Well, that's what we hope, at least.
But now I'm like, should we go back to the original? What was the original? The secret
photography trick I used to get this killer shot. Did you come up with this one yourself, or did your friend come up with this?
No, I did. Okay. I think I did.
I mean, I didn't mind it. It seemed pretty grabby, and I thought your thumbnail was different than what we normally do, and it grabbed me personally. I thought everything was like money, and then we posted it, and it was quite the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I think it ticks up a little bit once I make that change, but is this a good one long term or not good one long term?
Yeah.
And this is the game. This is the game, because if you leave it alone, you're damned if you do. If you change it, you're damned if you don't. Like
Murphy's
damned
Law.
if you do and damned if you don't.
Yep.
So you like question every little thing, which is why we would love to have the ability to split test it. Like I said, the split testing idea is simple. You put 2 titles into the back end of YouTube. Now, this doesn't exist on YouTube, but you put 2 titles in there, and then as soon as you go live, YouTube serves out title A and title B to 2 different people, but it splits it up, and within minutes, it's going to know which title is the winning title right then and there. Now, it can't help you for long term, but it can tell you which title right off the bat is going to be the strongest and be the one that's going to get the most clicks, which is what makes YouTube more money.
I bet you there is secret beta testing going on with split testing for titles amongst some of the biggest YouTubers. I guarantee YouTube is letting them in on that.
Well, I see, some people change. I don't know if they change their titles often, the big YouTubers. I don't know. I know you see that thumbnails can change from one second to the other. So maybe they're split testing thumbnails all the time, which is the option that's there. Yeah,
and we were also supposed to start this podcast, 45 minutes ago, give or take, and we spent the last 30 minutes trying to figure out, freaking out about the title and thumbnail and having to switch it, and we didn't have any backup, really, thumbnails or titles for this one for once. It was kind of like, let's just throw something up, we got to record.
Yeah, do you think I should change it back now?
I don't know, I really don't know. It's hard to say because, my gut says yes, but then I'm like, who knows anymore? Every time I think I'm right, I'm wrong about some of
We
this
just
stuff.
spend so much time trying to create good content, and you want to make it so that it can help more people, and yes, of course, help us in the long run. And it just flops, and you just want to fucking kill yourself. Not literally kill yourself, but you want to punch yourself in the face because it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully we didn't spend a ton of time producing this video from, start to finish, but it's still frustrating because I do think it's a very informative video. The main reason I wanted to make it in the first place is because I thought there were a lot of teachable moments that you had in this one particular scene and photographing this elephant in Africa. Thinking outside the box when you're stuck in a particular situation, like you were inside the Land Cruiser. The fact that you didn't delete any files so you can go back, which you ended up doing. You went back a month later and found a photo that you didn't originally edit, which ended up being one of your favorite photos from the trip, and just shooting RAW in general versus JPEG so you could bring back Mount Kilimanjaro in the background, which definitely would have been clipped if you shot JPEG.
Yeah, I get angry. I get frustrated over this stuff. I really do.
Well, I mean, it throws off not only your mood, but my mood as well, because, you're proud of something and then it goes out and barely any eyes get to see it.
And we're not the only people that deal with that.
No, not at all. It's every
and
YouTuber, for sure.
Yeah, everybody has to deal with it. It's not 13 years ago where I would just put up a video and it would show up or something, or it wouldn't. Now you're fighting an uphill battle with a lot of stuff. You're definitely fighting an uphill battle.
Well, there's a lot more competition than there was 13 years ago. Let's say that there's a lot more on everybody's feed and recommended feeds.
And who knows what YouTube is looking at? Are they looking at our titles and being like, well, these titles don't match some of the old titles, so we won't send this out to other people? Anyway, let's move on.
Who knows?
Do you know what I had for lunch today?
The same thing you do every day. What's that place? Walkwork, right?
I did have Walkwork, but do you know what I ordered?
Food. I don't know what you eat normally, but you order the same thing every day. I know that.
I ordered the Jared off the menu.
Like, you call it the Jared?
No, it's on the menu called the Jared.
No way.
Yeah. I'm going to show you right now.
What does the Jared consist of?
Well, Steven, thank you for asking.
A lot of bitching and what?
What? What'd you say?
Huh? Who said that?
I scroll down and I get to this, Steven. Can you read that? There you go.
Oh my God. It's actually a thing. Wait, hold it back up. The Jared, $18.50. Man, that's not a cheap meal.
Yeah, well, look what I add to it, Steven. Read it. You want to read it?
White jasmine rice, mixed market vegetables, lemongrass chicken, chili garlic sauce with house-made wonton chips, crispy shallots, scallion, white sesame, plus one extra lemongrass chicken. There's a whole
extra
bunch
lemon.
of stuff. Extra wild caught shrimp and extra mixed market vegetables. You order a lot of extra stuff. That's why it becomes $18.50 basically.
Yeah, but it's 2 times chicken, it's 1 time shrimp, it's extra vegetables, and that's my lunch. And then I get the Jared every day.
So how many people are buying the Jared?
I don't care how many people buy the Jared. I reached out and said, hey guys, hi, I'm Jared. They know me. But they're like, I got a call the other day from Walkworks after I ordered my meal. And they're like, Jared, did you mean to order only 1 times chicken? And I was like, yes, because it's I'm having dinner at 5:15. So I can't eat all of that chicken today.
Oh, man.
So I had to limit my intake. And I have to tell them when I'm going away so they don't get worried. Because I show up there every day at lunch.
Did Jared die? He hasn't been here.
Like, I'm in Africa.
Are you there even like weekends, like literally every single day?
Well, yeah, they're open 6 days a week, but they're closed Monday. So
Okay.
I eat it 7 days a week.
So what do you eat
I
Monday?
buy an extra one on Sunday. And then
It's not even like, let's switch things up for one day. I'm just going to buy an extra one and fill the void.
Steven, when I switched it up before I started doing Walkworks,
Yeah.
I would go to Loco Pez, and it would be like $33 with tip with a hipster fucking waiter that didn't give a shit, and the food sucked, and I felt like shit eating it. I know I feel good eating this every day, and I'm sustaining my weight, and it's good. Yeah, so that's why I eat the same stuff every single day.
Makes sense. You don't like change when it comes to food.
Yeah, but you too could also have the Jared if you go to Walkwork in Fishtown.
Nice.
You might see me there if you're looking for me, but don't come looking for me. I'm not going to tell you what time I go there every day because I don't want you tracking me.
It may or may not be the exact same time every day. Actually, today was different.
No, it depends on what we have to do and what we have to get done. That's really what it comes down to. Hey, Steve, you see that box behind me on the chair?
I do.
You're lucky it didn't get stolen.
Is this FedEx again?
It's FedEx ground. And let me say this to our FedEx driver friend out there who's listening. When I say
Definitely
fuck FedEx,
listening.
When I say fuck FedEx drivers, I'm not talking about, let me phrase that. Not the drivers. This fucking driver. This one driver who can not read. Maybe they can't read. They have to be able to read. If they have to be able to read. They have to see the address of where they're going.
Just like in any occupation, there's going to be someone that's just terrible at their job, and this is one of them.
Yeah, so it says on the door, ring the doorbell. Don't leave packages if we're not here. So I open up my door to go get my Walkworks, and I look down, and there's a package on the top of the step, not even near the door. So all this fucking guy did was leave a box there, not even ring the goddamn doorbell.
And not only do you have that sign saying, ring the doorbell, we're here, you have it wrapped the border in neon orange bright ass gaff tape against a green door. So it's like, even if you're walking by 20 feet away, that catches your eye like that.
That is gaffer power tape in bright ass orange.
Yeah. Best tape ever.
He got. I'm not Dan. Next time I open the door and that guy is there, because I sometimes like hear something, I'm gonna be like,
kick him in the balls.
What if he's transitioned, Steven?
That's what I'm
and
saying.
Doesn't have the balls. I'm testing to see if you're a real man. Oh, sorry, you are a real man if you've transitioned. You know what I'm saying. If you're a cis male or a non-cis male, don't get me started on cis and not cis, because I didn't know what that meant until I Googled it.
Here we go.
CIS. So I've seen the guy and I wave and I wanted to be like, and I'd get a package while he's walking back to his vehicle. I really need to be like, dude, ring the fucking doorbell. And if no one's here, don't leave it.
Well, I went back to look at the video to see if I could see which guy it was dropping it off, and for some reason the ring doorbell didn't catch him. What it did catch was you going outside and saying, "What the fuck?" Minutes later, just screaming like, "What the fuck?"
I can check the other cameras because their other cameras are always rolling, which would pick him up.
That's what I hate about the Ring doorbell, man. The fact that it's like proximity sensor and half the time doesn't pick up people.
Here we go. Here's the FedEx driver. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, let me throw it on the top of the stair. Not ring the doorbell and run back to my vehicle. You fuck. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Tell us how you really feel.
You fucking idiot. God. Don't excuse my language. That's just so annoying because this is a $200 product that is in the box that I ordered.
Well, it's annoying because this area, he should be well aware of that packages are stolen nonstop. Even if it's out there for a few minutes, they're stolen half the time.
I would have never have known it got stolen until I got the notification from B&H that would have said your package has been delivered.
So he's not even ringing the doorbell.
He's not ringing the doorbell.
Wow.
Ring the doorbell, you fucking idiot. Seriously. No, I'm not going to hold back on that, Steven.
I'm not blaming you.
You have one job. One fucking job, FedEx driver. It's to deliver the packages and ring the doorbell.
Technically, he did that job, but...
Oh, good. He did his job. He rang the doorbell. But do you know how many stolen packages there are a year and how much money is lost because of that? So the guy be like, yeah, I did my job. Your job is ring the fucking doorbell. Hello? Your package is here. Oh, you have a doorbell? I'm going to ring it.
We had one stolen not too long ago. It was a fairly expensive package.
What, from here?
Yeah.
It was a pre-released Tamron lens that was left on a Saturday, and I got here within 6 minutes.
What lens was that?
150 to 500 or something. 50 to 150 to 500.
What?
I still
Did
haven't
we not
reviewed
do
that
that
lens. No, I haven't had a chance.
Oh.
I had to do other stuff, Steven. God damn it.
I totally forgot we even had that.
So, I'm going to get into film photography, I think, now.
Yes.
I'm going to go into film photography. I've ordered a camera. I'm waiting for all the parts to come in. I'm going to switch to film.
What kind of camera?
One from 1942.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So I've said this before, but I'm going to get a
going
great
real old
flex.
school.
Yeah. It's a 4x5 field camera that sports photographers used in the 1940s.
You know what you should do? You should stop using Spotify and just use your record player from now on, too.
What are you, Dan? Should I go back to using an iPod and buying music that you don't own?
Getting Dan to get on Spotify was one of the hardest things
Can
ever.
I do it?
Yeah.
Can I do it? Hey, Dan. Hey, is that your Oh, you forgot your iPod? Oh, hey, you ever heard of Spotify? Mind you, this is like 2016, 2017.
Yep.
You know, Spotify's already been around since 2012.
Not 2008 when iPods were all the rage.
No. Oh, well, here, I'll be Dan. Oh, I really like my iPod. I like supporting artists because I buy the music. I own that music. It's my music. I own it. And I want to listen to it because I can get these things that are like live recordings that I couldn't get anywhere else. Oh, really, Dan? Here's every recording in the history of man on my phone right now because I have Spotify and I pay $9.99 a month. Oh, but you don't own it. Oh, do I need to own that music, Dan? Do I need to own it when I can just have every song at my fingertips for $9.99 a month?
And I think he was questioning certain like live albums. He's like, well, it doesn't have this live album, or I bet you won't have this live album. Quick search in Spotify, boom, all that stuff was there. All the rarity albums that he thought didn't exist online were all there for streaming.
And guess what? Dan likes Spotify now.
Loves it.
Hey, hey, Dan. That's right. Change. You know, to the better for technology. You know, why don't you listen to us every once in a while? You might get better. Hey, Dan, you want to use Spaces on your computer? No, I don't want to use Spaces on my computer. I want to put everything on one desktop.
And then minimize it all when I need to use one certain window.
I'm really quick at this. Look, I minimize it. This saves me so much time. No, it doesn't. You're wasting time. Filling out forms, standing in line.
All right.
Where my father fought the Second World War. Spent their weekends at the Jersey Shore. And I'm living here in Allentown. And they're closing all the factories down. Out in Bethlehem, they're killing time. Filling out forms, standing in line. And our fathers fought the Second World War.
I let you sing last week because it was your birthday. It's a little different this week.
Well, anyway, I don't have to go to Allentown, but I do have to go to Reading, PA. Not Reading, PA, even though it's spelled Reading. It's somehow Reading, PA, because that's where the Reading camera store is that the kid started who went to Antonelli Institute. He has all these old cameras, film, sells a lot of film, does a lot of processing from around the country, and that's where I went. So he ordered
like
me
Monopoly.
Well, he had that radioactive lens that he needed to get a board for to then retrofit it into the camera so that it will work. Now, I hope I can still switch out other boards, lens boards, so that I can use other lenses if I decide that I don't like this lens. You know, it's like a $700 radioactive lens I'm buying, but
Sounds
whatever.
safe.
And I want to use it to shoot portraits at the Phillies game. I did talk to one of the Phillies guys, the chief vibe officer of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's down for it.
So when you're done shooting with this camera, are you going to do a high quality scan and then throw some presets on it in like Lightroom and then post it to the internet?
Yeah, so what I plan on doing after I spend $8 per negative to develop,
Oh man,
roughly,
Woo.
that's what Unique Photo charges down the street. So I'm going to see if I can find a different option.
I bet
maybe
you they're
buy
all similar priced.
unless Dan does, my other buddy Dan, who develops his own 4x5
home.
at
Printing
home.
and processing,
Maybe I
yeah.
could like pay for the chemicals or something and someone can do it for me. But shit, like $8 a picture. No, so what I would do is I would set up a LED light with, scrim over it, and I will take a picture of the negative. And then I'll reverse it in the computer. Mash, 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 mash. You know how you reverse it, Steven? Yeah, that's how you reverse it. The only way you do high megapixel scans is if you have a drum scanner, which Steven Sutter had at one point. If you recall Steven Sutter throwing it all the way in the Wayback Machine.
He used to process film at home too, didn't he?
He did, and he then grew a mustache and then had a shovel tattooed to his arm. Hey guys,
I remember when he came in with that. We're like,
I'm
cool.
a park ranger.
So, what does that
But
mean?
The thing about Sutter is everything that he said that he would do, he went and did.
Yes, he really did.
So he does go and follow through on the things that he said he would do.
And I think he's a legit hipster too. He loves that shit, man. He wasn't a follower like half of the other guys.
He was a real hipster.
Yes, OG.
I'm a real boy. So anyway, when I get this camera, I got to learn to shoot. So I gotta like test it out with. Well, I got to spend money to test it out, and then I'll make a video that no one will watch on YouTube unless I title it "I'm switching to film cameras," which is what I already wrote down. Actually, I wrote down a title today.
I'm switching to ... and then we hold it up and we blur it out and make it look like a Nikon Z9.
Oh, you know what title I came up with too today, Steven?
What?
How to make the best fried chicken ever. Cooking with Jared.
Yes.
I'm thinking of how can
Watch
I
that have like 500 million views and be our biggest video ever.
This video has 8 million views. Now, welcome to Cooking with
pivot.
Jared.
Welcome to the new cooking channel, Fro Knows Cooking.
Today we're going to bake a cake with Jared.
You never know nowadays with YouTube. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the biggest video ever.
Yeah, maybe
I do think it will probably get views just because it's so outrageous. It's something that we don't normally do, you know?
I don't think anybody's going to watch it. I think it'll get like 12,000 views again. I think it's going to fucking fail.
Yeah.
And it's a good video. I've seen it too.
Yeah. Oh, we already got a text in. The color looks better on the elephant photo from our elephant video.
I must have asked
Well, you said let us know what you think in the comments, and I think I threw in the drop down where it says text Jared what you think.
You did right then.
Yeah.
I'll just let you know I'm looking at the numbers of the YouTube video. It's 2,000 views less than normal.
Great.
So it's done 5,000, and normally it does anywhere from 7,000 to 8,600 in the same time period. I might just change it back to the one that we might use long term.
Staying the same trajectory.
Whatever. It will get views. People that enjoy it will enjoy it, and then we just go back to making fucking gear videos and selling education. And I'm going to use gear videos to sell the education that people won't watch on YouTube because they can't ever see the video because it doesn't get served to them.
Yeah.
That's what we'll end up doing.
And news. I mean, news is always topical and works for us too, but
yeah,
news dies after a week, so that's the hard part with those videos.
Yeah, but they're consistent. They're consistent and they do what they need to do.
Yes, sir.
So speaking of consistent, I've been going out on the bowling tour quite often. We are recording early again. Today's a Tuesday. Last time we did it on a Monday, I think, because I had to leave. And I'm flying out to Indianapolis, Indiana. Where's Indianapolis then? Is it Indiana?
I'm not the
I don't
best
know
with
where
geography.
these places are. I get on an airplane and I say, "Airplane people."
Indiana, yes. I knew that.
People.
I did not Google that.
Hey, airplane people, take me where I'm supposed to go. Here's my ticket. And let me take my gear on the plane, which I still haven't packed. So I have to do that. I still have to pack my gear. I still have to do everything that I need to do.
Yeah, but you didn't even unpack from last week.
Smaller airplane, need to take a different bag.
All right, you just swap bags.
I do, but it's
you just got to throw it in another bag.
Yeah, but it's a much smaller bag. I'm not taking the C70 or R5C. I have not shipped back the Sony A9 III, by the way.
They're going to be mad.
Dude, there's nothing I can do. I've been busy, man.
You're not bringing it with you, right?
No, you just need to do a save load setting and upload that to Dropbox into the folder that now says save load setting.
All right, that's fine. Leave it, then I'll take care of it tomorrow.
I don't know where it is.
I'll probably go in tomorrow. We just compared it to the A1 in that comparison video that will be edited soon.
Yeah, so those videos will be coming. Yeah, just do save load setting, and then there's 2 other FedEx boxes to go back to Canon, Steven.
That's the R5C and the C70?
Yeah, and one UPS thing because I wasn't ready this morning when the UPS tube guy came. I need an assistant. That works here, and I'm like, assistant.
Yeah, but it's not often that we're sending back that much gear.
I know, but no, I want to get this shit out.
The thing is, you wait and wait and wait, and then gear piles up, and you end up having like 10 things at once to send back instead of like.
Because I don't feel like doing it.
Because you wait.
There's certain things that I will do. There's certain things I don't want to do, Steven.
Yes. Like clean up around your desk.
My desk area is totally spotless, as you can see on this camera.
You look like you're at a UPS shipping center right now. There's boxes everywhere.
No, we will not ring your doorbell. If you want someone to ring your doorbell, ask FedEx.
No, it's the other way around.
You didn't check the box for FedEx. You didn't check the ring the doorbell box. Oh, you didn't want me to kick your box? What about touch your box? You want me to fondle your box? What about put my dick in your box?
Dick in a box?
I put that into Photo News Fix this week. Dick in the box.
Justin Timberlake was actually just on SNL this past weekend.
Was he funny? Because
who watches the show? That skit.
Who watches that show?
Oh, on occasion I watch it, but I'm not a huge fan of the new cast.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sending back the C70 and the R5C, which I didn't use. I took them with me, and the C70 did get used by as a third camera when the other guy, Ricky, on the set would grab it when he had a minute, he could grab it to take other footage. I will say that when I came back from the trip, I still used my R3, and I had this idea in my head, like, I'm not a shooter like this. This isn't what I do. I shouldn't really be shooting this. I'm not as good as other people. And the truth is, I looked at other people's footage. I'm better than other people, Steven. I'm still better than other people.
I would
at shooting.
love for you to try and edit your own footage and put something together.
I am not editing, Steven. I will capture the footage and I will tell you how I envision it, and then tell you and then yell at you for not envisioning it the way that I envisioned it.
You didn't really tell me how you wanted it envisioned perfectly, but you're still going to yell at me.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Steven. This is what I want. I want you to take all the footage that I captured, take this, and this, and then this is where it works. Make it work. That's what I want.
My favorite is after we do a video and you're like, that's not what I was thinking. I'm like, you didn't tell us what you were thinking. You need to tell us before we start editing it.
So it got a little hard to hold a camera for 20 minutes when people were talking. Oh, and then we had to stop filming once because they were going like this to me with the peace sign. So they're giving me the 2 sign, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you mean.
Are they saying do a 2 shot? Is that what they're saying?
They were saying do a 2 shot.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when we filmed the Grand Canyon show, me and Jaffe would always do 2, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, I get it now. And then they said 2 shot, and they're like, did you get tight shots of this? I'm like, but you told me to be on a 2 shot. You didn't like, but no, I know what to do. You give me 2 shot, I get some 2 shot. When a guy starts talking, I'm going to zoom in and get some details, cutaways of him, and then get cutaways of the other guy. Then find the details, like there's the dog. So I'm going to get some video of the dog so we can cut it back to the dog. When they're talking about the hot tub, I'm getting some hot tub footage. When an airplane flies over and we're talking about hearing it, make sure I get video of the airplane flying over. I will say the ND filters came in handy. I really am an ND filter fan now because I never shoot video, and I always would tell Steven, it doesn't matter.
You always would be like, it doesn't matter, but I'm like, dude, I need an ND filter.
It only matters once I try it myself and realize there's a better way.
Oh, I have to tell you a million times, but yeah, until you try it yourself, you will be like, nope.
You
would always be like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be at f/22, man.
I think we need to get the new Peter McKinnon ones that magnetize on and off, so you can like quickly put it in your pocket cleanly.
For sure,
because
yeah.
The 5 to 9 stop one was absolutely necessary. The 2 to 5 or 2 to whatever wasn't enough, because in a bright daylight with a 2.8, and sometimes I'm going to be at 1.2, I need that 5 to 9 or whatever it is.
Well, the issue is when it's a patchy day, when you have clouds going through and overcast here and there, that's when it's tough because you're constantly riding different ND filters. 2 to 5 is too much, but then the 2 to 5 is not enough in certain times.
And even indoors, you might need a 2 to 5.
Sure, if it's bright
sometimes.
enough. Yeah.
It's just too bright. You just need it. Fuck, I need to order some books too, Steven. I just realized I still need to order some photo books from Printique before the deal ends. It's over by the time you guys are listening to this, so you fucked up and you missed it. But I am going to take advantage of that 15% off sale again, because I've already gotten like 6 books in the mail, but I'm trying to finish I finished the Anthony Simonson book, who we were interviewing out there, and I basically finished the layout of the Jane's Addiction book, and so I need to put a cover on that one, and then it's good to go.
Wait, Jane's Addiction book? What?
Yeah, when I shot Jane's Addiction a couple years ago during the pandemic, remember? And I spent time with Perry and Dave Navarro backstage and all that.
Oh, yeah. Those black and white photos in that tiny brick room, right?
The jam room. Same place I shot Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually was never in that room, even though I've been backstage in that particular venue a million times.
It's because you're not cool.
You're just not cool enough. No, yeah.
You should just go get a job at FedEx.
I'm not on the VIP list.
Why don't you just go get a job at FedEx? Speaking of jobs at FedEx, our buddy Shannon picked up a job at FedEx in the meantime when he didn't tour on the road.
Oh, yeah?
And
hopefully
he's
delivering
driver.
boxes to the door and ringing doorbells.
He is. He cares. Shannon cares. Imagine Shannon shows up at your door if he's got that long-ass beard and all those tattoos and stuff. He's probably a really good FedEx driver. He probably wears cutoff jorts and short sleeves, and he's showing all the tats.
You know what Shannon was in 5 years ago? I'm looking at the video right now. Was the Nikon vs Sigma 105 1.4 lens shootout. Man, that was 5 years ago. And speaking of gear and comparisons and how they do really well for us, 326,000 views on that video.
Yeah. And it just shows you why we need to keep our focus on gear and keep our focus on using those videos to promote education that we then sell, because that's the only way we can get people to watch that educational stuff. As part of the reason we stopped making educational videos and made that switch, it's not because we didn't like just stop, because I made critiques all the time before. I did critiques all the way up from 13 years ago. And then at some point, you're just tired of getting 20,000 views on something that is good, but no one wants to watch it.
Well, it became very repetitive too. It was like the same type of critique over and over again. I think that was one of the big things too.
Anyway, I'm heading back out again to Indianapolis. We are wrapping up the filming for the sizzle reel part of it, where then it's going to get cut together and then shopped around. I went on to Netflix today during my lunchtime, and the first thing that hit me, NASCAR. NASCAR, just like F1, now has a show.
Everyone
just
has
like
a show.
F1.
Yeah.
Everyone has a show. So if this bowling show
Let's
can't
hope
get
there's
sold,
not a bowling show before you put this one out.
well, there can't be a PBA bowling show because we have the rights to it.
You have the rights, yes.
And so that's what I fought hard for. And I can't, I mean, I really hope against hope that Netflix is spending good money. Hopefully, I want to end at Netflix, and I want them to write a big fat check for it so that we all can make
Not
money
doing
at
it for
it.
the money, but I hope they make a giant check out to Jared Polin.
No, it wouldn't be made out to me. I want, to do well by the players. I want the players to get extra money. Because, like, we interviewed Darren Tang, right? And Darren's like, I hate to admit this, and all this is public because it's online. I made $22,000 on the Pro Bowling Tour last year, is what he made.
Oh, man.
Steven, I made $22,000 the first day we released Throwback 4, right? I mean,
maybe we shouldn't say that out loud, but
we said it out loud, Steven. We've said it out loud. I told you I made $26,000 the first 2 weeks of selling the Frono's Photo Guide to Getting Out of Auto back in 2012.
Yeah.
That's how I bought my first house with it. That's how I got my down payment. So $22,000. Now, on the converse side of that, Bill O'Neill, the real deal Bill O'Neill, made $100,000 in the first tournament of the year. And Ryan Barnes, who's 21, who's an amateur, made $35,000 for finishing third.
Dude, it's literally YouTube. It's a gamble. You are gambling.
Gamble.
You don't know if you're going to win or lose when it comes to ad revenue and everything else.
But good thing Darren Tang has a good, sustainable YouTube channel that gets 60 to 70,000 views per video.
What about Brad and Kyle? They're still killing it?
No, Brad and Kyle, they only try to do videos when they're on the tour. And if you're not making shows...
It's got to be consistent.
You're not... Yeah, no, they're not. But I will see them... They should still be there unless they're doing really bad, because Brad got into the tournament. He didn't make the first tournament because he failed to get through the PTQ. But then we get to see Dennis, the one who wears those Crocs, those pink Crocs that I make fun of in a nice way in the videos. So yeah, going out there, we're going to hopefully get the sizzle solid and chopped and then picked up, and just, I mean, if that shit happens, that's a big deal. There's so much work that goes into all of this stuff, though.
Oh, I believe it. So I assumed you were only going to be filming like that first week that you went out, just because it was a last minute thing. You needed another shooter, needed more coverage. It seems like you're doing it every week, including this upcoming week, right?
Well, the first week I was everything, producer, everything on the ground. Last week, when we went to Vegas, we had a producer on the ground who asked the questions. We had a person from the production, who's funding some of it. They had an executive there, and he was there as well, helping. And he's got a track record of doing stuff in the industry. So there was other people to do that, and a shooter. And I just, I am fully capable of doing it. I did switch in to take some stills that I'm really happy with, by the way.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
That I took.
Will you focus on stills? Because I still think that is your... that's your area of expertise for sure.
I will focus on stills, but the thing is, for a show, my eye is probably better capturing some slow-mo B-roll, capturing moments that other people just might not get the same way that I will.
Do you really think a bowling show will use that many slow motion, moments?
Well, they could always speed it back up. But when I get Ryan Barnes celebrating the way he celebrated, I will say that 24 to 105 is just such a unbelievable piece of glass that it's not even funny. How good that 24 to 105 is for shooting video.
End all be all when it comes to run and gun lenses, for sure. For documentary work.
I think we could make a video out of it now for it, and I have to see if I can use my footage or not. I have to ask. Is it my footage? I mean, I didn't technically get paid to shoot it, so whose footage is it at that point?
I don't know what we're going to do when we already did the the actual stills review of that, and we threw in some video-centric things like talking about is it parfocal or not. I don't know how much you're going to be able to add to that besides saying it zooms in and zooms out at 24 to 105. Like, we never used the PZ feature yet, which I think is what sells that lens when it comes to like cinema work or doc work.
Yeah.
I doubt you're going to talk about like focus breathing and any of the technical things when it comes to video work, you know?
I don't know, Steven.
Unless you just do a quick one-off review and it's more like very video-centric and it's 5 to 10 minutes and
it was going to be a video set, like, here's what I captured with it. And then, but it's like me talking about, man, it's so versatile to have a 24.
But that's what we already talked about in the regular review.
I talked about it, but versatile from a still standpoint, but now from a cinematic standpoint, I'm also waiting to get that gripper. Once we get that, we could do a second video.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The PZ.
The attachment.
The power
zoom.
The
PZ.
It would make sense to do a second video then. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I got to get that.
Yeah.
I asked about it. I haven't gotten it yet.
$1,000 accessory.
Hey, Steven, I don't buy shit. They just give it to me. unless it's sent FedEx, in which case I'll never get it because the guy won't ring the doorbell.
Stolen.
and I'll never know that it's there.
Yep.
So did you guys enjoy the extra podcast last week, the interview?
The bonus.
I'm waiting for answers. I'm not getting any answers. Steven, anybody answering you right now? I think some
hear
people
anybody,
did comment
no.
in. More so, they were like, I can't see why that guy wouldn't like you. The interview seemed to go really well.
So I listened back to that because I forgot that I only had like the raw audio left, and I'm like, shit, I gotta edit this. I can't actually just put it up raw. It went great. I mean, you can even hear us talking. I didn't put this part out, but there's behind the scenes banter of us all just chatting in between moments, and he seemed like he really liked us, and we had a great time. It wasn't again until after Condo when all that shit went down. I don't know.
I don't know. But it's kind of cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it listening to that other episode. Maybe I will start cutting in some extra interviews and put them up as a separate podcast throughout a week.
I think it's great, and I think it makes sense if there's context to it. You know, if there's a follow-up or before episode leading up to that bonus episode. I think if it's random and just put out there, it's a little odd because there was no context really, but...
Yeah, but I think you and I can also lead into another... It can be a bonus episode where you and I start for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes
sure. Yeah.
and have a discussion about, hey, this person's coming on to be interviewed. Here it is.
I just meant putting up like straight up exact audio from the video and then letting it ride as a bonus episode. I think there needs to be some kind of intro and outro
different.
And all of that. Yeah.
This was different. Yeah, no, I plan on making it something real. But then also, what about, there is the possibility of, starting like a podcast network and then selling it for $100 million like SmartList just did. Did you know
really?
that?
No.
Well, so they got out of their Amazon deal. They were saying that they were looking for a new home, and all I said is you should just invest in yourself and I would give them $50, right? They want $50 for a season. I'll give them $50 because I enjoy listening to it and I want to support it. And if they have 1 million listeners and enough people do that, they're going to make some real money to sustain it. But what if we started they went to Sirius XM.
I was just going to say, you didn't answer the question.
I guess Sirius has decided they want to get serious with the podcasting, and then they paid them $100 million for $60 million for 3 years.
So
$100 million for 3 years.
It's only going to be available now on Sirius?
No, it's just going to be available early on Sirius.
See, I don't give a shit about that.
I don't care about
I'll
that
wait
either.
a week
it's not
and listen to it
time-sensitive.
free. Yeah, like
exactly.
It's got to be like what Rogan did and got off YouTube and did exclusively on Spotify. They need to do stuff like that because that's really what's going to sign people up.
I would never
I love
would never
SmartList,
go
by the
way.
on.
I tried listening to it. I just don't think it's as good as other podcasts.
It really is. I actually looked up. There's this website called like Chartable, and you can see top podcasts like throughout the world. They're like top 10.
Are they really?
Yeah, across all podcasts.
Chartable.
That might be a different website.
Chartable. How do I get to podcast charts? United States, Apple Podcasts, all podcast charts. SmartList is 9 right now.
Yeah, see, top 10.
Lots of shows here. You know what I'm not seeing on here? Some of the podcasts from the past that used to be up on there that aren't any good anymore, I guess.
See, I think this only tracks Apple Podcasts. I don't think this tracks anything outside Apple.
Then, I guess because other people are just on Spotify, number 1 is still New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce. Joe Rogan is next after that because he can only be... I just can't believe that New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce. I can't believe that's number 1 under the podcast charts. That is... Oh, and Call Her Daddy is 12.
There you go.
You know who gave her the start? You know, I say this all the time. I gave her start. You know, if it wasn't for us, she would have never been huge. When she had 7,000 Instagram followers and we had her on our podcast. It wasn't because she was hot or anything, but, you know, we had her on our podcast.
You know, that episode that only got 48,000 views. Clearly that blew her up.
Well, 48,000 now because I changed the title to put her name in it.
So it only probably had like 20,000 back then.
No, I love that there's a comment because I went back and I changed it when she signed that big deal for Spotify for $60 million for 3 years. And I went back and a commenter's like, you are just using her name for listenings. And someone commented back to like, well, no shit. She's the one in the damn video.
It's
so
not
what's
like
the big deal?
She's not in the video. Yeah, we just happen to. She's now known as Call Her Daddy. Back then, that didn't exist.
So anyway, maybe I'll start a podcast network and I'll get other podcasts that we can release during the week and see how good they are. Steven doesn't like that idea because I know what's going through Steven's mind right now. I can see what's going through his head. I know exactly what's going through his head.
What is that?
Who's going to do the audio to make sure it sounds as good as this one?
Who's going to do all the actual work, Steven?
Exactly.
Oh, that's what's going through my head.
See, I knew it.
Hey, I can come up with crazy ideas too, but how can we execute them?
That's what I do. That's me.
I delegate. That's
it's
me.
The Jared. Yeah. Let's talk about some camera gear before we end the show, Steven.
Yes.
There were more rumors from the Nikon Z6 III, which I'm going to let Steven do because I'm absolutely tired of I'm tired of Nikon rumors. You know, the site that gets shit wrong, like the Lanzarote thing, which ended up being a wedding photography event where Nikon Europe brought people to take. How is that Nikon Europe? I don't know. Anyway,
I looked it up and I'm like, oh, Nikon Spain. I'm like, oh no, that's part of Nikon Europe.
So, all right, hit us with those specs.
Well, the other thing is Nikon Rumors put out 2 sets of rumored specs from 2 separate sources the past, week? So I guess I'll list the first set of specs, which they're saying it's going to have an accelerated full-frame 24.5 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor, which is basically exactly what it has now. I'm sure it will be an updated version. XSpeed 7 processor, kind of a given at this point. A body inherited from the Z8, also a given in my opinion. Easy to use multi-angle LCD screen with a high brightness EVF. The newer set of specs say the EVF will be a 5.76 million dot higher res EVF. I hope that the multi-angle screen is just like the one that they have in the Z8 and Z9, where it's that 4-axis. It's still not going to be, I think, like the A7R5, but at least it's going to be better than just a simple tiltable screen, and that's it. They're saying pixel shift for high resolution photography, dual data stream AF system, which I believe is what they call dual data stream technology in the Z9 that just meant for like a real-time no lag EVF. They're also saying the updated focus algorithm is going to be stronger than the ZF and Z8. I don't see how that's going to be an actual thing.
Yeah, no shit.
Give it better focusing than a more expensive body. Makes no sense.
That's why I was like, that's why I said, why don't we just take the Z8 and charge $2,600 for it and call it a day?
I think this is going to be a ZF and a Z6 III body for the most part, which makes sense to me. They're saying full frame electronic continuous shooting up to 40 frames per second, and then DX shooting up to 120 frames per second, 6K 60p video, 4K 120. They're also saying 4K 60 full ProRes RAW. I don't know if that's going to be a thing either. We'll see.
Who cares?
Fine shutter angle options. So I guess they're going to give it cinema shutter angle options, which is interesting, but I don't really like. People made such a big splash about that with the FX3 and some of the Sony cameras that got updated with that the past week or two, and it's like, doesn't really matter, guys. It's not going to like change the camera. 2 card slots, CF Express B, SD makes sense. It's what the current one does, right? The Z6 II?
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
And yeah, it doesn't have stacked dual, or does it have stacked dual? No, yes. No. The first one had 1 card slot. That's what we yelled at, the Z6. Then the Z6 II added one of both?
I think the Z6 II added one of both, but it wasn't CF Express B. At the time, it was still, what was the other one called?
What, XQD?
Same form, XQD. But then they did a firmware update to make it compatible with CF Express B, from what I recall.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. I mean, they're also saying like 1/16,000th of a second shutter speed, 299 AF points, 8-stop VR, which is a nice update. That's kind of what the ZF has. It's just a general update. It's what we all expect from a Z6 III. I don't think there's going to be anything that comes out of nowhere, you know. I think it's going to be an incremental update, which cameras like this, that's usually what they are.
I'm tired of Nikon rumors and stuff, because Nikon rumors got all catty, not with us, but with Petapixel, because Petapixel was poking the bear and posting stuff and basically spiking the football and being like, we don't have an NDA with these people. And Nikon rumors just tripled down on the whole thing and was just like, or do they?
Well, they kept saying, like, there's definitely an event. The event is definitely happening. I know people going. It's like, okay, there's probably an event, but it doesn't have any new gear or anything coming out. There's plenty of regular events that go. We've talked about this last week. I'm not going to go into it again.
Hey, you know what I'm waiting for to come in the mail that I won't be here for? The Apple Vision Pro, which reviews went up today.
Which, and you were showing me that it looks like you can record the output, which is awesome. So we will be able to see what you're seeing in the goggles, or whatever you want to call them. I think it's going to be a great way to showcase, like, can we edit in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever it may be using something like this? Is there going to be fatigue? Is there going to be an intuitive way to easily use it? Can you use a mouse? Are you going to be able to use your fingers to move and sliders and shit? I think it'll be really interesting. What else do people want to know about that when it comes to photography besides, like, editing?
I don't know. I just want to see how heavy the damn thing is on my face. Will I be able to see properly?
Yeah.
And will I end up returning it for my money back?
Can you do separate, like, profiles? Like, what if you wanted to share it between people?
There's a guest one, but I think it's really designated for... iJustine did it, and you know how iJustine is. This is the most amazing thing ever! Right? But she's the one who showed the recording, because MKBHD just put up an unboxing and didn't put up the other. He's doing a series of videos, which he can get away with doing anything, because it's, you know...
He can wait.
At this point.
Yeah, he can take his time, and people will still watch.
You know... She was somehow screen recording from her laptop, and then if you watch her video and look at the front, the center angle, I don't know how they got it's like they recorded it in 240i or something, because it's like that front angle is just out of focus. I don't know what they did, but
I think it just missed focus. Yeah,
that main angle is just off, and they still did it.
They probably had it on an auto focus setting, and it probably just didn't catch their face.
Yeah,
I would have locked it off if I knew I was just going to be sitting on a couch like they were.
Yeah, I don't know, Steven. I won't be here, so someone's going to have to be here to get it. I think it comes out Friday.
I do think that video should be priority, and we should film that, like, ASAP when you get back and try to edit it and put it out right away, because it is something that's super interesting, and I'm curious myself if it will work out.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to be here Friday to receive it and to start filming it, so it's going to have to wait till at least Monday.
Yeah, so. I figured it's going to have to wait a little bit, but I still think it's going to be worth it for people to watch when it comes to the photography community that we're focusing on.
Is it worth it?
Let me work it. What happened to Missy Elliott?
She's a genius, by the way.
Is she?
Certified genius.
Oh, she works at the Apple Bar?
Hey, speaking of geniuses, have you watched Love on the Spectrum?
My wife loves that show. Absolutely
oh my God.
Loves it.
I never watched season 1. I turned on season 2 last night.
She just rewatched season 1 yesterday.
So I watched season 2, episode 1. And I gotta say, what a you just sit there and you watch that, and how pure these people are that are on the spectrum is amazing.
It's great. And how smart some of them are too. The one guy.
What do you mean them, Steven? You mean people that are on the spectrum? Oh, wait. Now, if you're on a spectrum, does spectrum mean rainbow?
Look in the mirror, Jared. Look in the mirror.
I'm not on the spectrum. After watching this show, I'm not on the spectrum, Steven. I'm not on the spectrum.
No, the one guy, they were having him recount, like, a date from, like, 50 years ago, and right off the spot, he's like, it was a Monday. Like, they gave him an exact date, and, like, what day of the week was that?
Rain Man.
It's like Rain Man, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just to finish it up, I was like, wow, that's actually good. And, you know, spoiler alert, the one guy is taking his girlfriend to Kenya on a safari.
I know, he loves animals, right?
Season 2, episode 1.
Yep.
No, she loves lions. So I can't wait to see it.
Maybe they should watch our video that we just put out.
No one else is. I may just change it back to the original if it's not doing any better now. It's like, so YouTube is like, your video is doing 27% less views than normal. Your normal viewers are not engaging with this. Well, maybe if you showed it to all of them, they would. But if we do have a title that's searchable in the long run, it's possible that it might pick up steam in the future, maybe. So I got to go. I got to get on a Zoomy call for the bowling show. I got to pack my gear. I got to reformat hard drives. Got to get ready to go. And that's all I got, Steven.
Have a fun trip again. Maybe we'll get back to recording Raw Talks on Thursday again.
Well, it doesn't matter when we record it as long as we record it.
Yeah.
All right. I left you some boxes here.
Yes. Can't wait.
Thank you guys very much for listening. Jared PolinFronosPhoto.com. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Go away, Steven.
Peace out.
Fuck FedEx.
Yo. Watch your language.
Fuck. I can't hear Steven.
Oh, shit.
Fuck FedEx.
Damn.
Stop talking into the mic,
Stop
Steven.
it.
What are you saying?
Fuck off. Fuck off.
All right, I'm out.